everybody. It's incredibly hot, and I'm here with MLH and myself, and we have a very specific call to action that we would like to involve everyone and anyone who's interested into making some calls. And we need to make sure that the Denver Police Department is applying the laws fairly and equitably to the entire community. So I'm going to give the camera to Frank because I'm going to talk while we talk about what's going on here. So as many of you know, this is the infamous CDOT lot. Okay, so you've got the landscape here. This is the leftovers from the guys that ended up getting arrested and moving out of here, right? So you see the CDOT lot, but we know the street is the property of the city of Denver. There seems to be some talk between CDOT officials that seem to think they own everything in here, including the street. I'm still challenging that. But the bottom line is that the Colorado Department of Transportation has given the Denver Police Department the authority to enforce the law. So essentially, the Denver Police Department has become private security with no intergovernmental agreement with the Colorado Department of Transportation to come here and kick people off of this lot. Now, they selectively do it because for years, the residents and anybody that wants to use this lot back here get to come back here and park all their work vehicles, tow trucks, have parties, do whatever the hell they want. And so you watched a live stream the other day of me having a conversation with an Officer Anderson right out here when he was here providing security for CDOT to do a cleanup, right? And Officer Anderson ultimately agreed with me that they need to enforce the law equitably. So when I asked him to come over here and take care of all those vehicles that are now gone, by the way, there were vehicles, work trailers, personal vehicles parked down there. Those cars were gone. But since then, we've had like that red Jeep sitting down there for a couple of days. It needs to go or be cited for trespassing or have a 72-hour notice put on it. And I told them that I was going to be calling. So I've been calling. And I called last night at about 5 o'clock, and I was on hold for almost 20 minutes just to get the non-emergency line to pick up. Yeah, granted, it was, 5 o'clock, rush hour. Okay, that's fine. I didn't have an emergency. A little weird that I was on hold that long, but okay. So they said they would send an officer out, and they would address that, and that I would get a call back. Never happened. And so, and ironically, coming down the street right now is the neighbor here on the corner who has been the biggest instigator coming out here and being confrontational with the homeless. So if I ever catch him anywhere on this CDOT lot, I'm going to be calling. So as of right now, I'm standing on this CDOT lot because I really do think that anyone should have full use of these CDOT lots because, hey, look, he's laughing. He thinks it's funny.
Get the fuck out of here. Yes.
So,
sorry. Continue on, Regan. Sorry. That's me, by the way. I'm the cameraman today.
He's going to continue to drive around the block.
Oh, I don't give a fuck.
He knows what I'm doing. So, ultimately, what's going on today is Sergeant Fambrough. You know this name because you saw me have a conversation with Sergeant Fambrough the day that I took Cowboy to another sweep and asked District 3 what they were going to do about that bribe that they gave Cowboy that day to get out of the cul-de-sac here when I got arrested. And you heard Sergeant Fambrough, you saw him, do that for about 15 minutes. Well, today I called the non-emergency line again and asked for officer response because I noticed that this red Jeep is still parked on this quote-unquote private property. It's either private property all the time or it's not. Hey, I wanted to have the legitimate discussion that it's public property, but I don't win. That's fine. Okay, so it's private property all the time. So Sergeant Fambrough today was the fortunate one to call me back when I had asked dispatch to have somebody call me back about not responding to my call for service last night when I called about this vehicle and another work truck that was parked over here. Get him on. I need to use him.
Oh, he hid. He hid.
So Sergeant Fambrough called me back today and wanted to know how he could help me. So I informed Sergeant Fambrough of District 3 how he could do his job, and he flat out told me that he was not going to do it, and that I needed to call CDOT and have CDOT make the complaint with the Denver Police Department, because I have no authority as a citizen to demand that the Denver Police Department apply the law equitably to everyone. Yet Sergeant Fambrough told me I have no authority to have the Denver Police Department enforce the law. So any neighbor can call at any time and bring tons of cops at a time over here for any homeless person at any given time. I call for a very legitimate complaint, and mind you, remember, Officer Anderson agreed with me on camera, and he took care of the issue. Guess what Fambrough told me when I told him that Officer Anderson knew how to do his job? He told me that Officer Anderson works for him. And I said, well, maybe he should have your job because he's smarter than you. And so I informed Sergeant Fambrough that he needed to go back and read the trespass agreement that's on file with District 3 that gives them the authority to enforce the law for CDOT at any time the Denver Police Department is commanded to do so. Well, I'm commanding them to do so. And Sergeant Fambrough is telling me to stick it. So
I was there for that conversation, y'all, just to let you know. And I didn't hear everything that Fambrough had to say because he was on the other end, but I did kind of hear that conversation, and Regan is telling it just like it is, y'all. Just like it is.
So what we need to do is make some legitimate complaints and concerns on my behalf, because I am a resident of Denver. If anybody else is out there is a resident of Denver and wants to see this action applied equitably, please start making some calls. So I'm going to suggest that everyone call the non-emergency line. So let's start with that. Is Ellie in here?
I don't believe Ellie.
Do we
Oh
have
yeah,
any
I
mods?
think Ellie's in here. Ellie's in here.
Okay.
Ellie.
So what we want to do is publish this number, because we don't have any direct contacts over at District 3, and it's best that all of these calls be documented. Now, please, do not call and harass or hang up or make, ridiculous statements. This is really going on, okay? And let me give you some of the cross streets over here. So remember, again, it's District 3, so when you call Denver Police Dispatch, you're going to say that you have a complaint in District 3, okay? And the cross streets of this CDOT lot are Wesley and Galapago and Iliff and Fox, okay? That's the location. And the complaint is that the Denver Police Department is not doing their job by enforcing the trespass agreement, where it says no trespassing. They're refusing to get this red vehicle off of this property, okay? So that phone number to the non-emergency line is 720-913-2000. And what we ultimately want is for them to respond and to call someone back. They don't necessarily have to call you back. The police don't need to call you back. They can call me back. They do have my phone number on file. So Sergeant Fambrough should be the one that calls me back. and says that Officer Anderson or the like have come out here and done their job, since Sergeant Fambrough is refusing to do his job. Flat out told me wasn't going to work that way. I have no authority to ask the Denver Police Department to enforce the law. It has to be done by CDOT because it's quote-unquote private property, except CDOT gave the Denver Police Department full authority with a trespass agreement that commands the Denver Police Department to come out here and enforce any and all laws.
They're asking again. It's Iliff and Fox, guys, is one of the intersections, and Galapago and Wesley. And Regan will give you that number one more time in just a second here.
That phone number, 720-913-2000.
Yep, 913-2000. 720-913-2000. 2000.
The Denver Police Department's non-emergency dispatch. It goes into their dispatch, so don't be an idiot and don't be making threats. I think it's fair to request a call back if you would like one to understand why the laws are only being enforced on the homeless. I've been going through this for over a year. The Denver Police Department doesn't want to address the issue that they're really not the Colorado Department of Transportation's private security force, except when it comes to the homeless. Why not everybody else?
Yep.
So,
thanks, Bob. Appreciate that super chat, $3.
Oh, Bob. Thank you, Bob. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, Ellie, for posting all that information. So that's a number you need to call, especially if you're living in Denver. I think, Richard, you're living in Denver, if I'm not mistaken. But give him a call and tell him you want that red car out of private property because it's a double standard with the homeless out here. So, I'm telling you, we're out here. There's the car right there. It's more towards the Iliff and Fox intersection than it is the Galapago and Wesley intersection, but it's that CDOT property behind. And if the homeless people out here are going to be held to that standard where, they can't be out here, then nobody else is either.
That's right.
That's
right. No more parties out here on the weekends. No more barbecues on this private property. So District 3...
What's up, DJ K-Dot? Nice to see you in there.
District 3 needs to get pretty serious about enforcing this, because if they don't, we're just going to keep calling. And those calls are going to get documented through through the non-emergency line. However, you should also know that Lieutenant Cody is Sergeant Fambrough's direct supervisor, and I suspect Lieutenant Cody is reporting to Commander Kyle of District 3. I've always had good communication with Commander Kyle. I just don't think he knows what the hell's going on out here, and I think it's good that he gets these reminders. So even if you'd like to get more information about District 3, ask the non-emergency line to have someone call you. If you want some email addresses, you want to start communicating with the police over here in District 3, I think that's good, because it's answers and solutions we seek, and it's supposed to be fair and equitable treatment for all. I mean, that is why laws exist. It's not to target the homeless, certainly. I mean, you heard Anderson say that day, Officer Anderson. Look, I'm not out here trying to disrupt anybody's life, and on and on and on. And I said, well, yeah, okay, that's great. So you need to go enforce the law over here. And he did. And then he came back and told me that he did and said that he agreed. He said I was exactly right. Well, his boss is an idiot. So maybe we need to get Sergeant Anderson a promotion, or Officer Anderson a promotion. His name is Robert Anderson. I have his card. I think he's been with the Denver Police Department since like 2005. So he's been around for a while. Perhaps he has some better leadership qualities than that dumbass Fambrough.
Yeah. Real quickly, guys, it's a red Jeep Cherokee with a Thule kind of luggage rack on top.
Oh, and I have the license plate.
Oh, the license plate. You guys are interested in the license plate. We have the license plate. We'll get that for you in just a second. Thanks for asking.
Here it is. It's a BRM. B as in boy, R as in Robert, M as in Mary, L51. A red Jeep Grand Cherokee with a black luggage carrier on top. Yeah, and it's been here for days. So it's actually past 72 hours. And we need to make sure that nobody is using this lot. Absolutely no one.
Yeah. So that's the story, guys. Make the phone calls and tell them you want equal treatment of people out here. If they're going to enforce homeless people off of DOT property, then why is that Jeep Cherokee allowed to be there for days?
And mind you, I actually had kind of fallen to the wayside on my duties when I told Officer Anderson I was going to start calling every day. I had been through here a couple other times, and there was a tow truck company using the lot, and unfortunately I wasn't able to
What year?
stop and make those calls. So they've actually gotten away every day with being able to park here every single day.
Yep.
Since the homeless were arrested. I don't know what year that is.
I can zoom in on it, guys. You guys can probably look on the internet.
All they need is the license plate.
Yeah, it's approximately, I would say, 2010. Maybe. Maybe a little bit older. I don't know.
The plates are good. So the plates again are BLM. Oh no, what did I say? Hold on, scratch that.
Black Lives Matter. Anyways.
BRM. B as in boy, R as in Robert, M as in Mary, L51 is illegally parked. They should be cited for trespassing. But, maybe just give them the 72-hour notice to begin with, so then you can tow it when it doesn't move, like they do the homeless.
Yep, exactly. There's, let's see, real quickly, cameras of mass destruction. Stay tuned on that front. I've got something planned myself for auditing the shit out of the police stations, which apparently is a Class 2 misdemeanor, according to the statute. So stay tuned on that. What's up, Joe? Nice to see you there. Tennessee Accountability, nice to see you in there. Regan's just explaining why the double standard it is for people that are homeless to get kicked out of here, but yet residents of this place can put their vehicles back there and everything's copacetic and okay with that. So that's the whole rub here. So that's the gist of it. Ellie, you have more information for people to call if they want to. So there you go, guys. That's the whole deal. Money Does Talks. What's up, Nancy? Late night, thank you for reposting info. It's MLH, Duncan. This is Mexican long hair. If you guys are so inclined, you guys can head to my channel. I work with Regan sometimes, on and off. We have an on and off relationship, huh, Regan?
Yeah, there seems to be a little thing going on where you're like allowing somebody to use the channel.
No, okay. Let me get this straight. Are we getting back in air conditioning?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna get back in some air conditioning, guys, because it's like 100 degrees out here. No, see, Regan's referring to the mustachioed guy that keeps hijacking my channel.
Yeah, how's that happening?
And that's yours. I finished mine off because I was thirsty. But yeah, it's not my fault, guys. I change my password all the time on my channel. And he has some super sleuthing abilities, apparently. So
Who is this guy?
I have no idea. I have no idea, Regan. What do you mean?
Well, I got some more videos about the series continuing, if Regan is a cop or not. So.
Oh, really?
I'm just letting you know.
Oh no, I'm with you, Regan. I love those. Well, Regan.
There you are.
What is this hostility? MLH and mustachioed are not the same person.
I walk the
ma'am.
streets. I know what's up.
You walk the streets?
I walk the streets.
Wow.
Somebody accused me of being a streetwalker, and I was like, yeah, so what of it?
Look, Crystal Clear Audits has it right. Hackers are good. Can't stop them. So what am I to do?
Huh.
So, not hot, 93 Fahrenheit today, Richard. What's wrong with you, man?
The car says 98.
Yeah, and plus the humidity makes it a little bit hotter. How dare you? Yeah, he's an ass to hijack my channel, Tennessee. I'm telling you.
Yeah, let's just change the subject.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever.
Look, I'm just as pissed as you are, Regan. I'm working with authorities to get rid of that guy on my channel too.
So anyway, we just got done talking about District 3.
Yeah.
So as everybody sees, we go back and forth between District 3 and District 4, right? So over in District 4, we have what that real MLH guy calls Lapan land, where if you'll recall, if you've been following my channel for a while, I had brought the portable toilet over here when they got swept last time. I got chewed out by the neighbors. They didn't like the toilet. They were under this premise that if I brought the toilet, the people would come. It was just the opposite scenario. But ultimately, what ended up happening with that toilet is it got moved over to Lapan land. Because I do have a standard out here when I'm supplying sanitation at the cost of the nonprofit, which your donations go to pay for, which, by the way, I bought that toilet with my own money long before I had enough money to even support cleaning it, and it was not cheap, okay? So I provide sanitation to those living homeless out here because it's a necessity, it's a need, and the city refuses to do it. I do have an expectation that it will be respected. And from time to time, there are assholes out here amongst the homeless. Yes, there are, just like every other faction of society, that try to ruin it for everyone, or that deliberately sabotage efforts, or simply don't have enough self-respect to know that vandalism is wrong when they've been warned 50 times not to do it. So that's ultimately what happened to the toilet out here. It got moved to Lapan land. Well, recently on Lapan land, since this last sweep, because Denver's so helpful with supporting the activists that are really, truly doing good work. They're so helpful, and they disrupt and displace everyone. So things start to go to the wayside. And the people that I typically want accountability from, that don't even want to check themselves, are up to no good. And those are the people living homeless that do not like me. And you know what? That's okay, because the ones that don't like me are up to absolutely no good. Everyone gets help out here if they need it. I have never told anyone no. I'm starting to tell people no. And that is reverberating into lies and all kinds of other bullshit. And so people think the best way to retaliate against me is to take it out on the toilet and destroy that for everyone else. So there's been a series of vandalism to the toilet out there again. There's been more trash and clothes in it. I've been trying to address it. There's a very vulnerable population out there that needs that toilet. A lot of elderly over there. And one particular individual, a woman, decided to graffiti up the door of the toilet yesterday, as I had just got done dealing with more trash in the actual toilet, which ends up costing me a lot of money to clean. And so I was having words with her and the individual who decided to hide her from me. And this individual and I have a long history. Well, that history is now shattered because he lied, he deceived, and he stood by and watched a physical assault occur. And I was thrown to the ground and punched repeatedly in the head last night. I was curled up in a ball in between the gutter in spilled beer and shit galore that I was laying in because someone has a problem with me who is currently having a warrant issued for him for assault. And he decided to throw me in the gutter and then wail on the top of my head for a good 10 to 15 seconds and kick me. I have a huge welt and whatnot on my calf. I have a huge bruise down my back. I have bruises forming all over the backs of my arms from holding my hands over my face. Let's make sure we give him his attention that he's looking
Real
for.
quickly, thank you, Crafting with Orchid, for your super chat. She said, love from Denmark. I can't believe how bad it is over there by you guys. Yeah, I hope he doesn't let his dog shit you. Open the window, tell him that, Regan.
No, he's looking for confrontation. This is the neighbor that likes to come over here and confront people. He likes to have a stare down with me. He thinks he's in charge.
Fuck him. Look at that piece of shit, guys.
You gotta put that dog on a diet. That's fucking animal abuse.
Yeah,
Look
sure
at
is.
that dog. That poor thing is so overweight. I gotta call animal control on him.
Yeah. You should.
That dog deserves a better life. He certainly isn't capable of giving it to him. So, anyway, back to this issue with this assault. So, I do want to say that District 4, you've seen District 4 do some pretty stupid shit, but there happened to be a good cop last night that showed up when I called. Unfortunately, it took a long time, and I find that really fascinating, because like you saw this morning, they had 15 cops to stand at a sweep for 6-7 hours, and they don't have cops on duty to address assaults. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So anyway, this cop showed up. He ended up doing a good job. I'm not going to go into details about what's going on with it, but it is going to be addressed, and that's that. I want people to know it happened. Does that mean that everybody out here doesn't deserve some help? No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean I can just up and quit because I'm afraid. I'm not afraid. But yeah, it's dangerous, and this is the actual very first assault that was pretty brutal. And according to the other witnesses that live homeless with this individual, I had it coming. And the things that happened were told by the witnesses as not happening. They are also known as lies. The homeless tend to come together out of fear because this individual is one that others fear. And when you've got a supply of things that you like to have, you tend to take the side of that person that's doing that for you at the moment. And I have a moral compass, and people are starting to hear no more. Not that I didn't say no before, but the no's are coming in the form of, you're not going to take advantage of me anymore and my generosity. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. But there are still a lot of people out here that appreciate, respect, and really are trying to get themselves into better situations. And the city just keeps doubling down on making it harder and harder and harder.
Yeah. Joe says the big field there would be a great spot where people could camp in exchange for a couple hours of community service.
Absolutely.
Have garbage cans and porta potties and water.
Yep. Absolutely.
Damon says, can the person that did that to you, can he be handled at street level? I tell you what, Damon, I gave Regan some mace, so I hope she, next time, if she ever sees that piece of shit again, she puts it right in his face and sprays it. I have mace on me, and I tell you what, Damon, he was very lucky. I was in the area last night. If you guys saw my live stream, I was in the area that all this shit went down, and for some reason I didn't go to the Panland. And if I'd have been there, things would have went a little bit differently. Anybody?
You also didn't know I was there.
I didn't.
I have a bad habit of doing things like that.
Yeah, everybody tell Regan every time she's on a live stream to text me.
But I wasn't even streaming. I was out there trying to address the issue with the toilet. I was actually putting a lock on that toilet that I use, and only certain people get the combination. Even the cop said to me last night that was on duty, he's on patrol, he was kind of curious to understand why the city, or at least the community resource officers of District 4, aren't giving me a little bit more support around that toilet.
Yeah.
Instead, I get more harassment. Remember, we had the video of the right-of-way enforcement that came and tagged the toilet and said they were going to tow it. All of a sudden, my license plate was gone that day. It was on there earlier that day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure, one of the homeless stole the license plate. No, I think the right-of-way enforcement took the license plate off. And to back up on this issue with Sergeant Fambrough, he told me that the only thing he would do was call the right-of-way enforcement team to come out here on CDOT property. And I said, Sergeant Fambrough, you don't know your job. You need to know your job a little bit better. Have you even read the trespass agreement that gives the Denver Police Department all the authority to address? It doesn't say Denver's Department of Right-of-Way on there. It says the Denver Police Department. I said, have you read it? He said, no. I said, okay, then could you please go read that and call me back after you've read it? No, I'm not doing that. This guy is so stupid. He has been with the Denver Police Department for so long. It doesn't matter. This guy is close to retirement. He would probably like to get put on paid leave for an IA investigation that would last 30 days. He's probably that close to retirement. This guy is a fucking moron. And he needs to go. He needs to go. I've dealt with him numerous times, and he's just dumb and lazy as shit.
Yeah.
I mean, lazy.
Yeah.
So he's going to try to sick the Jeep guys on this vehicle that sits on this property when they have no authority.
Yeah.
Because remember, it's a municipal agency on state property. And the state gave the Denver Police Department, specifically District 3, all the authority to handle these things.
Yeah. Raymond says, anybody want to be Reagan's bodyguard for when she goes out alone when MLH can't be with her? Yeah, hell yeah, man. If you're in the Denver area and you want to just, I don't know, swing by La Panland and make sure nobody's fucking with the homeless down there and everything's
Like
in order, like I do from time to time.
I need more men. There needs to be more men. And I don't, it's very difficult because I'm out and about so quickly and so often on different issues.
Yeah.
I would literally have to have somebody like full time to just follow me. It's unrealistic.
Yeah, that's why when you guys see these videos, today's a rarity, me with Regan, filming. But yeah, if you guys want to head out there and just drive by, it's La Pan in Florida, I believe, right? There's yeah.
If anybody wants to email me about those exact locations, please feel free to do that. All my contact information's in the About section.
Yeah.
And there are other areas. And I do have other volunteers that come out sporadically.
Yeah.
But it's very polarizing and it's very difficult for people to grasp what's going on and be able to build a relationship with people because they're constantly sweeping.
Yeah. The sweeps don't help, guys.
No,
the sweeps
are so damaging.
Rico or Rio Seco, poor doggy is walking him on that hot blacktop. His paws must be burning.
Yeah,
great point. Pretty in pink, Reagan. I got May Stamen. I got you.
Check it out. A gift from MLH.
Yeah. As soon as I heard, guys, I went straight to Walmart.
This is very
and
nice.
Bought that. It's gel mace, she got the gel form. I just got. What's this asshole's name, Ellie? I couldn't find out what public recourse, but can't afford it. What's the guy's name again? Fambrough? Like Fambrough from Super Troopers? No, what?
What guy are we talking about?
The sergeant or whoever you talk to.
Sergeant Bobby Fambrough.
Fambrough.
I believe the spelling is F as in Frank, Ambrough, something along that lines. You could Google him. Those guys, you'll always find a story on them. You'll always find, when they've been around that long. And Officer Robert Anderson, he was the one out here the other day that actually said, "Yeah, I'm gonna do my job," and then he went and did it and came back and told me he did it. Yeah, he works for Bobby. Yeah, and he ought to have Bobby's job, probably.
Yeah, police brutality exposed. Regan carry a body cam at all time.
Somebody is in the process of ordering me one of those. We're trying to find just the right one.
Yeah.
I have a GoPro. The problem with those is the battery life.
Yeah.
You get an hour out of each of those batteries. I don't have time to be taking a GoPro on and off and putting a battery in and doing all that shit. And further, I really hate the presence of the camera when I really want to have an honest conversation with someone who is in deep despair.
Yeah.
Even though they might tell me they're okay with that camera, there's still a little level of doubt about where that footage could go. And when somebody comes to me and says, I need rehab, or I need to go get clean, or I need to try to go get clean, or this happened to me, I don't want them to not talk to me. because of the presence of those things. And I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I can be wired up
I hear you.
24/7.
Ellie says no. The guy that hit Regan.
Let's not.
Right now, it's an ongoing criminal investigation, guys. So Regan's not going to give out the name of the guy that assaulted her, which
Who I am very familiar with, who has been a constant problem, who has been someone that I always have to look behind my shoulder on, who has been known to pull a gun on some other people out here, who is a subject that the Denver Police Department either doesn't want to catch, doesn't want to invest the time to catch. He's constantly in and out of jail. He does have other warrants. So right now, I want to see if Denver's going to do their job.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, I wanted to go back to the District 4 thing. I had a call this morning at 9 a.m. from an investigator who asked me to come in and verify some information. I did that right away. Within 30 minutes after doing that, I had a call from the victim's assistance person who works specifically for the Denver Police Department, asking me if I knew how the program worked. I pretty much do. She asked me if she could send me some information. I said, absolutely. She sent that via email immediately. I'll be taking some other action tomorrow. So I want to say that District 4 has done a good job so far on this, and it hasn't even been 24 hours. I was lucky. I got a good cop last night.
Yeah. DC, are those people going to camp there all winter long out in the snow and cold? Yes is the answer to that, which I fully expect at least a few people die. This winter is going to be brutal, guys. Can people live under the ground in the irrigation tunnels like Ninja Turtles? Do you want to live in the sewer, DC? I mean, honestly, unfortunately, it's an unsafe world, but you can buy tiny button cams that can be hidden, or police-style cams with battery life for 24 hours. Yeah, the problem is expense, police brutality. Tian says he's schizophrenic, the guy that attacked you.
No, he's not.
I don't know about that.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
He's violent.
He's a violent criminal.
Period.
You guys have seen him on camera. I'm not going to say who it is, but he's been on camera before. Are you okay? Ellie says.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm incredibly sore. I'm probably going to go to the doctor.
Guys, she says she's okay, but she's limping around. He kicked the shit out of her. I mean, let's be honest here. He did a good one. I saw the welt on Regan's shin. It's a big, sizable welt, guys. This was purely an assault.
Yeah.
And
but let me tell you what it's called. It's called simple assault because nothing was broke, and I didn't require any extensive medical help. Simple assault is a misdemeanor, and it's a ticket. And if he were to be found, any person could technically get away with assaulting someone and simply just getting the ticket. So you don't go to jail on that, but you'll go to jail if you camp in a tent.
Yeah.
So think about that.
I hear you, Tian.
Think about that. You saw me go to jail for camping in a tent, but I can have the shit kicked out of me, and that's not a jailable offense.
That's a great point, Regan. She just made a really good point there, guys. Regan got arrested for staying in a tent, for simply sleeping in a tent, and Denver PD was way willing to throw her in handcuffs, throw her in the back of a car, but yet some guy beats the shit out of Regan, and he's out there just walking the streets, and even if they do catch him, here's a citation. Here's your citation, sir. Let me hand this to you on a silver platter.
But you know what? The argument there is they're going to talk about everything the legislature has done to minimize violent crime and to let people out of jail. But here's the truth of that bill and how that worked in simple terms. The police still have all of the authority, along with the judges, to jail people that have a criminal history. Just because you are going to be turned loose supposedly now for motor vehicle theft, right? This is the big conversation, is how many people aren't going to jail for motor vehicle theft. If that person has a history, the courts still have all the leverage in the world to jail these people. There is a lot of bullshit about this is all the Democrats' fault. They're done with law and order. They want anarchy. They want chaos on the streets. Look, the Republicans paved the fucking path for it. Okay?
Yeah.
So it's not a partisan issue.
Yeah.
It is a judicial issue. And this system has been failing for a very long time.
I make that point a lot on my streams, Regan. It's not a Democrat thing. It's not a Republican thing because they're all pieces of shit. They really are.
The thing is, it's who's in office. Then it's a thing.
Yeah. It's whoever's in office. I mean, if there's, like, Biden's in office right now, everybody, is anti-Democrat. When there's a Republican in office, we're all anti-Republican. You know, it's a fucking sick cycle. It's stupid.
The partisan divide is not solving homelessness.
Yeah. Regan, you need a body cam you control when you mute audio or pause filming. Shouldn't affect what you do with people to help rehab. We support you 100% here at Audit Florida CW. Thanks, Audit Florida. Yeah. Justice system is broken.
I'm going to look into those.
Yep.
I am.
Jack Brown, thanks.
I don't know. It just kind of bugs me.
In Reno, they wouldn't even let you use the tarp as lien before 100 times more showed up. Now it's okay. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Barbara Brennan, park my ex's grandma. Oh, what? Okay. Straight dirt on both sides, Damon. Yeah. Please still tax money at the top. 26 more to 100 on the likes. If you guys haven't hit the like button already, go ahead. Thanks, Ellie.
That'd be great.
Thanks,
so
Ellie.
We're going to take a drive back to Lapan Land because we have somebody at the grocery store that I ultimately have to pick up. But why don't you just continue to run that stream and answer any questions that people have, because I never get a chance to do that.
Yeah, I know it's really tough when you're by yourself doing a live stream, guys. Hold on. I can answer any and all questions that you have
Has
in there.
anybody called? Has anybody...
Did anybody call yet on that red Jeep? And you guys can feel free to repost the info, the numbers, the license plate, because you know what? It's a double standard. The homeless people out here get kicked out at that DOT property, but yet anybody here, all these residents get to use it free and clear with no harassment, no 72-hour notices, no
leave now or else.
Leave now or else moratoriums. And see, there you go. Let me see if we can catch it from over here. Oh, we're gonna go down here. Right on, Regan. But check this out, guys. We're going down here to Iliff and Fox at the DOT property. But there is the vehicle. You can clearly see it's on DOT property. So there you go. That's it. That's the whole shebang here. We just want the same treatment for everybody else out here. That's all, you know. And I think that's what Regan's trying to make a point. You know, if it was our choice, guys, we would let anybody stay out here. You know, if you fell on hard times, this it seems fine land to me. I mean, why wouldn't that be a great place to be out of the way and on some place that's safe and secure?
This tow company is using the lot. It's as well.
Oh, Luna's Towing. We're going to back up here. This one right here uses this lot quite a bit. This towing company. And they have a DOT number. They're not part of the DOT, but, you know, they got their ducks in a row as far as their paperwork goes. But they use the lot quite a bit, too. But the main thing is getting that red Jeep Cherokee, mostly because it's not fair. And, two, it's to prove a point that there's a double standard when it comes to the homeless people down here. So...
And I was threatened with arrest on that lot simply for filming the cops being out there. You know, they told me they had a trespass agreement a year ago this past May, which they did not. I wasn't arrested. That female officer cracking her knuckles at me.
Did she put on gloves?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I love that.
She put on the I'm going to fuck you up gloves.
Yeah.
This is DOT property as well. Look what they did here when they kicked the homeless out.
Oh, they put up a big old fence.
Isn't this beautiful?
Look at this.
A beautiful piece of state property, just growing weeds with a
Yeah.
chain link. Do you know how much money that fence costs to put up?
Yeah, probably a lot. And then look, here's the thing. Look at all those weeds. Tell me they're using this for anything.
Nothing.
Nothing. I mean, that's what we get down here, guys. Uh, let's see. No, it's about race. Period. Blitz says maybe. It's
About
about
race? No.
race and poor people, just poor people in general. There's an assault on the homeless.
Well, there's an assault on me.
Yeah, and Regan got the brunt of it last night, and she's not.
No, I don't even mean that. I mean with the police. You know,
Oh,
they
yeah.
don't care. They'll target me too.
Yeah,
I don't like to get into the race war and the division of,
yeah.
yes, the homeless are poor, they are behind the 8 ball, and the cops think it's funny as hell to come out here and harass them.
We've proven that over and over, Regan. How many times have we been out at these fucking sweeps when these cops are just laughing away, the DOT guys, especially that orange buffoon in that
I
orange
want
shirt.
you to film this.
Yeah.
So the homeless typically will spend some time here during the day to park. Now nobody gets to use this city property because the city of Denver allowed a private contractor to come in here and set up shop to do work on the city roads. So you'll see, you've seen some videos of the park rangers harassing the hell out of the homeless.
Yeah.
So now nobody gets to use it, and it's now a construction site. And the neighbors are worried about how things look.
Jonathan, we're heading back over to Lepanland, the site of where Regan was assaulted last night. You guys can post details. I hate repeating myself on these streams, but yeah, she got the shit kicked out of her, y'all. And what's funny is I was on a live stream last night. I just took a wrong turn. I didn't end up going to Lepanland. I wasn't planning on even being in the area, but during the same time, like if I would have just taken a right instead of a left, I might have ended up at Lepanland where Regan was, and maybe I possibly could have intervened, possibly.
No, that would have been, I don't want anybody to feel like that is preventable.
Well, I know.
That dude that he's just waited for that moment.
Yep.
He's
And
just
look, guys,
waited.
in response, I bought this for Regan. It's a gel mace, little handy doodah here. So hopefully she won't have that problem again, but you never know. So that's where we're headed, Lepanland, as I
Yeah,
deemed it.
MLH has named this Lepanland. This actually is not a bad place for some of the homeless to be. If they let the trash get any more out of control, there's going to be problems. So.
Yeah. Dinat says thank you, Regan, for all the hard work you do. A fan from Japan.
Aww,
Thank you.
wow.
Anyone camping in the Jeep? Does it matter, Joe? Let's see. Regan, when you get a chance, I need you to email all the police non-emergency numbers for District 3 and 4, street intersections of the homeless areas, police officers' names, badge, so I have it. That's Ellie.
Okay.
Yeah, when she gets a chance, Ellie, she's kind of busy right now, but that way I can post them.
Can you send me an email so I know to do that? I'll forget. I'm sorry. I know I'll forget.
So we're back at Lepanland now, guys. Look, this is Lepanland. Regan was assaulted approximately right there in the middle of your frame there. So there you go. Right in there. So there you go. That's what happened. Yeah, no, I'm good. It's sad, guys. I felt really bad last night. Nothing I could do, really. I mean, you know, shit like that happens out here, and you know, you got to just be have your head on a swivel.
Well, it really doesn't. I don't want anybody to get the impression that it is wholly unsafe to come out here
Yeah, no,
and make contact with people and build relationships, because it's not.
no.
But there are some people out here that are starting to hear no, and they need to hear no, because I know their capabilities. And when it comes to the point of it's just wholly taking advantage of me, there's just not going to be any more. There are too many people out here. There are too many people still to come out here that may just be on the cusp of needing a little bit of help to get back on their feet. The people literally that I talk about all the time that are never going to get housed are the ones that I have to start backing away from unless I can provide some solid forward progress. And Cowboy's one of them, and we're making some progress. We're going to have an announcement here pretty soon about that. He is also here on Lipan land, and he absolutely was not involved in anything last night. He was nowhere to be found. So I just want to make that clear.
Out of Florida, with the super chat, he says he put a super chat of $20. He said,
thank you for that.
Put it towards a body cam. Cam Pro, $169, $169. Wish we could do more. So thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Really
I'm going to do something. I definitely am. I just don't know what. I have to. It has to be a comfortable situation, and reliable technology. You guys know how that goes. You know, you find something. Oh, this looks like it'll work. You get it, and it's like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
So,
the life of an auditor. I mean, hell.
Right. Truly.
Try to get insurance claim for vandalism. I don't know how that would work.
On that toilet, it's not worth it. I'm not going that route with it.
Yeah.
Just respect it. Just respect it, so we can continue to have it.
And you know, the funny thing is I used it and it's really clean.
Yep.
You know, Regan keeps that toilet like really good for a public toilet. Like it's way better than you can imagine. You know.
I have some good solid support there that comes to service that toilet, and I don't want to lose that, and it's important. So
yeah.
And there's nothing worse than being a person having to clean a toilet and actually dig shit out of those toilets by hand because you can't suck it through the vacuum. I don't know why people don't get that. And then when it's buried and the service guy doesn't know it, it clogs the hose and blows up shit everywhere. You want that job? You want that job? Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's why I've had a couple success stories of saying, hey, coming out here and saying, hey, who's going to clean the toilet out? And a couple people have done it, but other than that, it's never happened again. So I've had to lock it up until it can be respected, and that's how it's going to work. And that is part of the reason sometimes that places of business don't allow the homeless to come in and use the toilet. I think it's horrible that it's a blanket statement on all of them, because a lot of them just simply need to use the bathroom.
Paul Jackson said, I've had plenty of shit jobs, but never one involving shit.
Literally. You want that? I mean, think about that. These guys, this company that employs these guys, which, by the way, this company employs felons. They are more than willing to employ some of the homeless. I've got a couple people out here that just refuse to try to go over there and better their situation, which they could. Those are the people that I'm telling you that I have to start saying no to. I'm not going to continue to feed you when I know damn good and well you can walk a half a mile over here to a job and you can start getting your life back on track. But you don't want to do that because I'm going to continue to come out here and feed you. I don't ever think that people shouldn't have food to survive.
Right.
But when it comes to cookies and extra little treats and snacks and bags of ice, no.
I experienced a little of that the other day on my
and that is one individual who refuses to go take advantage of that opportunity.
Yeah.
And so now you see the cycle, and when you're already feeling like you're entitled and that you can get mad and use force on people that don't coddle you, things aren't going to go well for you, and you're going to remain homeless. So yes, some of these individuals have been behind the 8 ball from childhood. I get that. But you don't get to be violent, and you don't get to hurt others. So it's a pretty simple equation.
Yeah, Danette says, wow, thank you for not giving up. I clean bathrooms in rental properties for a living. It truly is. a shitty job. Yeah.
I swear, janitorial, garbage people, I mean, could you imagine life without them? And we
No,
think cops are heroes.
right. I
The
think
cops are the heroes.
right. The cops are heroes. No, the cops aren't heroes. People like that, like the janitors that everybody wants to look down on, and you know, for cleaning fucking toilets and the shit that's really truly literal shit work that they do. You know, those guys are not here. Those guys are the lowest of society, apparently. But yet, these piece of shit cops that'll harass and, you know, bully and intimidate. And, you know, you guys, I don't know if you guys saw my video where I was at a crime scene in Aurora, but there was a cop that was pretty much, Regan said it perfectly. He was assigned to watch me. And all he did was pivot towards me and try to intimidate me with his stupid vest. I mean, that's all these fucking thugs do. And I call them thugs because that's what the fuck they are, you know? So instead of doing something productive, they do these stupid homeless sweeps, or they don't do their job, like find somebody that assaulted Regan.
But let's be clear,
Unbelievable.
so far they're doing their job over in District 4 on
Yeah.
that issue. So let's hope they continue to do it. This person, though, is going to be in hiding. And I don't expect the Denver Police Department to prioritize this kind of investigation over much worse crime
Yeah.
that is happening.
Boiled Corruption says cops in jail use tasers on men's balls and think it's funny. I mean, I don't think tasers are funny at all, period. Like whether they use them out here in the field or what part of the, but that is extremely cruel in jail. I've seen those videos, Boiled Corruption. Fucking bullshit, you know. I don't know.
Well, we better talk about ending this stream because we have to get to the grocery store to pick up an individual. So I'm going to have to go do that. Everybody, thank you very much for being in here. Thank you for your support. It's much appreciated, and it goes to direct street outreach. But things are changing. The dynamics are going to change because they have to, because the population is growing exponentially, and it's not even winter, and we're not even into the full moratorium thing. So if there are people that I can invest money in to get them with family, to get them out of this state into a better situation, housing is unaffordable, and there will never be free housing for all. I'm sorry. I have some differing opinions on that. I think I'm pretty right. Nothing is free, and some people are never going to get housed. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for making those calls to District 3 to hold Sergeant Fambrough accountable to him not wanting to do his job. And remember that it was Officer Robert Anderson over there of District 3 that was more than willing to do the job, and he got it done. So maybe he should get Fambrough's job, and Fambrough should get canned.
Yeah, Fambrough should be put out to pasture. Maybe Anderson should take his place. He's got enough experience.
Yep.
I've seen Anderson at work. He seems to be fairly chill.
This is a different Anderson.
Oh, it's a different Anderson.
In District 3. Yep.
All right. Well,
that's another Anderson in District 4. And
Yeah.
he's the party planner.
Oh, the party. That's
yeah,
right.
remember? We went to a party.
Oh, boy. Okay, guys.
Yeah, it's a subject for another day.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. Super Troopers, I keep telling Regan's got to watch that movie.
Time to watch it. Reno 911. Here I come.
Everybody, every time you see Regan on her stream, tell her, watch Super Troopers. And when especially the scene where they're all posing with the drugs, because that was the scene the other day that we saw firsthand. So anyways, Regan.
Peace.
All right, later, everybody.